After that, things went back to normal again for a while, at least. Down in the county seat, the state was preparing to bring John Coffey to trial, and Trepingus County Sheriff Homer Cribbus was poo-pooing the idea that a lynch mob might hurry justice along a little bit. None of that mattered to us. On E Block, no one paid much attention to the news. Life on the Green Mile was, in a way, like life in a soundproof room. From time to time you heard mutterings that were probably explosions in the outside world, but that was about all. They wouldn't hurry with John Coffey, they'd want to make damn sure of him. On a couple of occasions Percy got to ragging Delacroix, and the second time I pulled him aside and told him to come up to my office. It wasn't my first interview with Percy on the subject of his behavior, and it wouldn't be the last, but it was prompted by what was probably the clearest understanding of what he was. He had the heart of a cruel boy who goes to the zoo not so he can study the animals but so he can throw stones at them in their cages. You stay away from him, now, you hear? I said. Unless I give you a specific order, just stay the hell away from him. Percy combed his hair back, then patted at it with his sweet little hands. That boy just loved touching his hair. I wasn't doing nothing to him, he said. Only asking how it felt to know you had burned up some babies, is all. Percy gave me a round-eyed, innocent stare. You quit with it, or there'll be a report, I said. He laughed. Make any report you want, he said. Then I'll turn around and make my own. Just like I told you when he came in. We'll see who comes off the best. I leaned forward, hands folded on my desk, and spoke in a tone I hoped would sound like a friend being confidential. Brutus Howell doesn't like you much, I said. And when Brutal doesn't like someone, he's been known to make his own report. He isn't much shakes with a pen, and he can't quit from licking that pencil, so he's apt to report with his fists. If you know what I mean. Percy's complacent little smile faltered. What are you trying to say? I'm not trying to say anything. I have said it. And if you tell any of your friends about this discussion, I'll say you made the whole thing up. I looked at him all wide-eyed and earnest. Besides, I'm trying to be your friend, Percy. A word to the wise is sufficient, they say. And why would you want to get into it with Delacroix in the first place? He's not worth it. And for a while that worked. There was peace. A couple of times I was even able to send Percy with Dean or Harry when Delacroix's time to shower had rolled around. We had the radio at night. Delacroix began to relax a little into the scant routine of E-block, and there was peace. Then, one night, I heard him laughing. Harry Terwilliger was on the desk, and soon he was laughing, too. I got up and went on down to Delacroix's cell to see what he possibly had to laugh about. "Look, Cap'n," he said when he saw me. "I done tame me a mouse." It was Steamboat Willie. He was in Delacroix's cell. More, he was sitting on Delacroix's shoulder and looking calmly out through the bars at us with his little oil drop eyes. His tail was curled around his paws, and he looked completely at peace. As for Delacroix, friend, you wouldn't have known it was the same man who'd sat cringing and shuddering at the foot of his bunk not a week before. He looked like my daughter used to on Christmas morning, when she came down the stairs and saw the presents. "Watch this," Delacroix said. The mouse was sitting on his right shoulder. Delacroix stretched out his left arm. The mouse scampered up to the top of Delacroix's head, using the man's hair, which was thick enough in back, at least, to climb up. Then he scampered down the other side, Delacroix giggling as his tail tickled the side of his neck. The mouse ran all the way down his arm to his wrist, then turned, scampered back up to Delacroix's left shoulder, and curled his tail around his feet again. "I'll be damned," Harry said. "I train him to do that," Delacroix said proudly. "I thought, in a pig's ass you did, but kept my mouth shut." "His name is Mr. Jingles."